Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Boye Akinokun, international affairs analyst, joins me from Texas, United States via Zoom. Good to have you join us.
Hello, good morning and good afternoon.
Thank you. I understand the time difference. It can be really a confusing one. But let's turn to the developments in Ukraine. There was a bomb blast in Ukraine and the capital Kiev while the UN Secretary General was there. But before we get to the significance of the timing, let's look at the fact that some weeks ago, it didn't look like Russian forces were pulling out of Ukraine, Kiev rather, and moving to the Donbas region to try and take the east. But again, we're seeing the bombing in Kiev. What does this tell you about this, the Russian president's strategy in Ukraine?
Okay, I mean, it's obvious a message was being passed by the Russian president. I think that was a deliberate attack on Kiev while the UN Secretary General was present in the country at the time. So I'm sure it was a deliberate attempt to just pass a message that they're still in firm control of the attacks on Ukraine.
So you think basically that he was trying to take that his focus is basically on Donbas region, which is the east, and not necessarily trying to take Kiev, which is the capital of Ukraine.
It feels like the earlier attempt to capture Kiev didn't work out as planned, and Donbas region it's much easier for them to capture. So I think they probably re-strategized and they're coming in, trying to get in through Donbas region. Then we'll know in the future if Kiev comes into play. I mean, from all we can see, that's what the message looks like.
And what message do you think was trying to pass again? Because there was just about an hour after a press conference between the UN Secretary General and the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, just ended, and then there was a bombing in that capital. What message do you think it was trying to send, and then the significance of the timing itself?
The message was simply, we are still in attack. We are still in control of the fight, and we can hit anywhere we want to at any time. That's what it looks like, just to show the force and power is still there. They can do whatever they want to do. That's what it looks like.
And let's now look at the deliveries to Ukraine so far of military equipment. In 2014, when the Russian President Putin, annexed or invaded Crimea, we didn't have this show of support from several countries around the world. Do you think that he sort of miscalculated with that sort of what happened in 2014, believing that, look, there was no support to Ukraine at that time, perhaps Ukraine will not enjoy this level of support, or it is now getting? What do you make of his calculation towards the invasion of Ukraine?
I strongly believe President Putin didn't expect the support Ukraine is getting right now. Like you said, this has happened before. Russia has been attacking Ukraine for a while, from different fronts, using militias for a particular region and taking over Crimea. The world didn't respond, but responded. So I'm sure the Russian president felt it's going to be the same thing. But this time, I think he went a little bit too far, and the whole world is showing great support for Ukraine at this time. So it looks like he didn't expect this to go this way it went.
But do you also think that it is a reflection of how the Western leaders now see President Putin, that perhaps he has moved from the leader that everyone could dialogue with to someone who is impervious to dialogue?
Yeah, I mean, that's the obvious thing. All the world leaders have tried to speak with President Putin on this. I remember the French president going to Russia just a few days into all of this, or just before the attack started. So I'm sure they've explored all the options of dialogue, trying to talk him out of this, but it looks like it was inevitable it was going to happen, because Ukraine had said they were going to join NATO and all that. So I think he wanted to just show this force and say, hey, you cannot join, and we have to be in control of this region. So I think that's the message from there. Yeah.
Both of them, that's the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, and President Putin of Russia, have now been invited to G20. I know that President Volodymyr Zelensky has been invited to G20, but we also understand, according to the president of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, that Putin will be attending, which means that that controversy over his attendance has been put to rest. What does it tell you about the stage of this war? Do you think that perhaps they have now reached a compromise where a dialogue can happen?
That's a good development if they can have a dialogue. I'm sure if he attends the meeting, it's going to be all about Ukraine, and hopefully they will be able to reach some agreements and some concessions on what's going on with the war. I believe it's a good development. If he's invited and he attends that meeting, there should be something positive coming out of it. If all the world leaders are present and everybody can talk over this over a long table, and I believe it's going to yield positive. Yeah.
We'll see how things play out. Thank you so much for talking to us, International Affairs Analyst Boye Akinokun.
Thank you for having me.